All right, Zavi, let's do the show. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. We hope it is good. Welcome to another episode of Geeks Who Like Sports. As always, I am Ray Carcillo in beautiful Los Angeles, California. Join my best friend in entire world over in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, Elias Lee. How are you doing today, my friend?
Huh? What?
How you doing with your Philly Fanatics hat?
What?
We're doing the show. We're live. We're on the air. We're not live.
Right, I'm sorry. I was busy with today's non-sponsor, Rubik's Cube, making us all frustrated since 19 whatever, because Rubik's, look, Ray, got one side, but that's it. Just the one side. It counts if I hold it like this, Ray. For those of you watching now, it looks like I got it. Then the next question would be, well, did you get the other side? No. Rubik's. For people that are geniuses and want to look up internet hacks on how to do these things. Rubik's,
yes, there are plenty of internet hacks now. I have a friend who memorized the internet hacks and now can do a Rubik's Cube under
well, that's not
under
special.
A minute.
You know what's special to me? Obviously, the kids who do it in like 1 or 2 seconds. That's special.
Yeah, I think the world record is 3 seconds, I think.
It's insane, right? But the other ones are like, have you seen those Rubik's with like 45, 50 sides or something crazy?
Oh, yes.
I mean, and it's just like humans can do that. Right? Rubik's. It's something else.
It's something else. That's Splenda. That is Splenda. No.
I just realized we can use that with everything.
That's true.
With everything we do.
Slogan.
I'm looking around. Like, hey, look, Kia. It's something else.
Yeah, I mean, that's going to be, we're going to make a something else LLC, and that's how we're going to do. We're just going to license that out to everybody.
That's what, Ray, you like podcasts, right?
Yes.
Geeks Who Like Sports. It's something else.
There you go. It's something else.
We figured it out. We cracked it. We have cracked all of marketing.
Yes.
That doesn't matter what you're doing. Trojan condoms. Don't use something else.
Yeah. Don't use. There we go.
All right.
Yeah, we did it.
Amazing.
We solved marketing. You don't need AI.
Marketing. That's it.
That's it. Internet marketing. It's all done. Micro influencers don't need to care. Don't just us.
We're done.
We're done. It's us.
You're done.
It's done. You're done.
Where are you going? Nowhere.
Where's this guy going? Nowhere. He's because big guy
clubs.
dropped the
There's
toilet on him, and Boondock Saints. Anybody? It's a great movie. Great movie. Boondock Saints.
Right. It looks like you're drinking a beer, but I don't believe that's what you're drinking.
No, it's iced tea. It's green tea.
It's
green tea.
It's the same color as beer. So depending on the audience, Ray's having a good time. No matter what he's drinking.
No, yeah, it is green tea because it's from my buddies over at the carving board, because where I had lunch when I was running my errands, and they do not serve alcoholic beverages. You can look that up. So that's how you know it is just their patented green tea.
The carving board. Something else.
It's something else. I had a burger today because I didn't get the chance to have one yesterday for Memorial Day. Yep. Happy Memorial Day. Happy post-Memorial Day to everybody. We wish you a pre-Memorial Day last week. Now it's a post-Memorial Day. And how was your long weekend, Lee? Before we get into the show, we got a big show for you today, folks. Got some geek stuff, a lot of sports stuff, sports heavy episode. How was your Memorial Day weekend, though?
I was in an ice rink the whole time.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
The kids had tournaments. They did really well. My son had his first AA shutout in a really spirited game. He made several saves in that, and my daughter's team, my team, won their championship, so she was very happy. And I was there first time in an ice rink this weekend. I did it. I did it again. So yes, had a good Memorial Day. As always, like to remind people, not in a condescending way, Veterans Day is a different holiday to thank people that have served currently.
Correct.
All right. That will
Memorial is for those.
Memorial Day is to memorialize those that have sacrificed their lives.
The ultimate sacrifice. Yes.
For this country. And we do give thanks for that every day. And they are my anchor. And I will say that. But yes, I spent my Memorial Day celebrating freedom with my children, playing a Canadian sport in an American ice rink.
Awesome.
Because hockey, Ray, it's something else.
It's something else. Well, that's a perfect segue. Now we'll kick off our show with the NHL playoffs. It's a oh boy, it is.
Oh, okay.
Yes,
the all is going as I have foreseen.
The New York Rangers have won games 2 and 3 in overtime because my blood pressure wasn't high enough So, and unfortunately, I was watching the game from Petco Park, which is where both games where the Padres play. We were playing the Yankees. I had tickets to the Yankees. Padres went down for the whole weekend. They'll talk a little bit more of that in a second. But and me and everybody else who is also a Ranger fan was watching the game on the phone while we're also watching. All right, there's a pitch. Okay, now 20 seconds of hockey. There's a pitch. 20 seconds of hockey. There's a pitch. 20 seconds of hockey. Going back and forth as the game, of course. And of course, even on Sunday, the Ranger game ended up being the middle of the afternoon. I was thinking, I was like, oh, great. It'll be a primetime game on Sunday because, that's what they've been doing. And I can watch the Yankee game, which is an afternoon game. No, they were still on at the same exact goddamn time. And so I, again, was watching on my phone on Sunday. Yankees took 2 or 3, by the way. Rangers have taken 2 or 3 so far here in the Eastern Conference Final and are primed, it looks like, to, knock on wood. This game 4 tonight, as we're recording this, about 3 hours from now, it is May the 28th. Pivotal. 2-2 and 3-1. Massive differences. Florida trying to make it a best of 3. The Rangers trying to put a stranglehold in the series. Lee, what are your thoughts so far on this series?
It's a great series, right? These teams match up really well. After game 1, there was a lot of fear from Rangers fans at a 4-0, whatever it was, 4-2, 4-1.
3-0.
3-0 is what I said, yeah. I've said this many times. You never gauge a series on the first game. Ever. It doesn't matter what the score is. You got to play a couple more games to find out. And after game 3, you start to get the picture. Teams match up very well. The Panthers are looking to overtake Igor Shesterkin with just an amazing amount of shots. But the Rangers are proving that it is not the amount of shots, it's the quality of the shots. The Rangers, who are really being outshot 2-1 in most of these series, most of these games, coming through. Because great teams, and the Panthers are great, but great teams find a way to win. The Rangers are finding ways to win. And I'll tell you this right now, that you're going to hear this, oh, well, they were overtime. It could have been close. Ranger fans know too well about overtime making series close. You can go back to the 2014 Stanley Cup final where they lost 2 overtime games to the Los Angeles Kings on their road to the Stanley Cup championship. Here's the deal. It doesn't matter how you get the wins as long as you get the wins. All right. And at this time of year, it is so close that is the margin for error. This series could go 7. It could go 5. You don't know. The point is this, your blood pressure, you might want to get some medicine, my friend, because this series is not going to go quietly. The Panthers are not going to quit quietly. Fully expect them to show up tonight. This is going to be a back-and-forth series. I believe the Rangers will win this series. I've said it. They have found a way through this. They looked pretty bad in game 1, but they bounced back in game 2. And the thing is this. Again, a lot of analysts, a lot of fans, they're just getting outshot. You have Igor Shesterkin in net. It's a godsend. And if he goes down, you somehow have a 3-time Stanley Cup champion, Hall of Fame, American goalie, and Jonathan Quick behind him. That's not going to be the problem. Can you imagine if he has a bad game and you got to put Quick in? Oh, no. All right? This takes nothing away from Sergei Bobrovsky. The Panthers are a very, very good team. But they have not been able to figure out Igor Shesterkin, who is playing the best hockey I have ever seen him play. Right? You have the makings of a Stanley Cup championship berth, but you've got to play the games. Every single game from here on out, it gets harder and harder and harder. All right? So just watch it and enjoy the ride, my friend, because the Rangers and the Panthers are taking you to the promised land of hockey, where they will take on a team that no one outside of the cities they're from cares about.
That's very true. That's very true. Because we're going to get to the Oilers and Stars in a second. But there's 3 points I want to talk about with the Rangers first. Alexis Lafreniere has found a new switch, particularly since round 2 against Carolina. All new gear, and had some of the most amazing. Like I almost want to call it the one looked almost Yager-esque, because I saw Yager do something like that once.
He did.
It was where he basically just weaved his way through several defense
in the conference final.
Yes,
it's in a regular season game.
No. And then went to the backhand and beat Bobrovsky. And if Lafreniere is playing at that level, and then suddenly we get Panarin going, and Kreider and Zibanejad, who have pretty much been absent in these first 3 games.
They have. The team is deep.
If the Rangers can get their stars to click, it's been the 3rd and 4th lines have been doing all of it. Barclay Goodrow coming out of nowhere, being like, oh, yeah, I won a couple of cups. Like,
The guys that are – this is exactly why – I believe they are the team, because they are getting it from everywhere. Your biggest problem right now is that Fox is probably injured. And I'm going to tell you this right now. That's a good problem to have because he's still playing. He's still got an assist.
Yes,
the
he's
other
still
night.
playing at a high level. He's just he's just not at the Fox level that we're used to.
Here's the thing that no one's talking about. Offensively, nowhere near where he needs to be. Defensively, fine.
He's still there. Yeah.
And that's where you need him on defense right now.
Right.
When guys like Goudreau are getting overtime game winners, he does not need to be a hero right now.
Yeah.
He needs to be a great defenseman. That team is firing on all cylinders. They look good. I understand how easy it is, again, to look at them and say, oh, man, they're getting outplayed. It might look like that on the surface, but they're winning the games. I don't know if they're getting outplayed as much as Florida is just explosively being on offensive, right? Which, again, is if Shesterkin stops playing well, you have a major problem. But I have no evidence that he's not going to play well. None.
No, exactly. I mean, and that's the thing. Like you said, Goudreau, Wenberg, who hadn't scored a goal in 24 games, had the game winner in game 3.
Out of nowhere.
Yeah. Like the Rangers are finding ways. And I will say that this, though, if the Rangers lose tonight, I may have to drive back down to San Diego and just watch the rest of the series in San Diego because it is.
I wish you had that power, my friend. Look,
I know.
Look,
I know.
do not think that this is going to be a quick series. I really do think it's probably going to go 7 games.
Yeah.
I mean, again, for my prediction sake, I hope it doesn't. All right, but the Florida Panthers, I actually wanted from a Ranger winning standpoint, I was hoping you'd get Boston because they looked really weak to me.
I was gonna say that would have been an easier matchup for us.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. We'll talk about another Boston team in a minute. But look, this is all I'm going to say is that it's a great battle. It's great hockey. You want your conference final going to overtimes like this. You want them to be exciting. All right, and it is. And again, I just the thing that hurts me the most is having to watch Henrik Lundqvist watch this.
Yeah,
and like probably have to console Shesterkin after every game. Like I know they're shooting on you a lot. You can do this. You can do this, buddy. Yes. I didn't have anybody behind me. I didn't have anybody good behind me the entire run. And if we did, we traded them pretty quickly.
Yep.
Okay. Steve Alliquette is not here. All right. Right, and I love Steve Alliquette, but I'm saying like Rangers look to be sitting in a pretty good spot right now. The Panthers can beat them if they let down, but I've been saying this since the start. The only team that can beat the Rangers is the Rangers. If they get really hurt and fall apart, and people will say to me, "Well, that's true of every team." Exactly.
Yeah.
Right. They're not doing that.
Yeah.
Okay. They're not doing that. And by the way, the guys that you're benching are freaking amazing players.
Yeah. Yeah. Wheeler was available for the Eastern Conference Final. He's not playing. Hedl has been
in. The stats with Rempe being in are undeniable.
And that's the thing I was just about to bring up. Yeah. The X factor, again, even though he's only getting 4 to 5 minutes a game, is Matt Rempe. He's the Rangers. This is ridiculous. The Rangers are 25-1 when he's in the lineup.
It's insane.
That is ridiculous because and even though he only plays 5 minutes, he is such a focus for the other team that they lose the other guys. They lose the good
He taps into their competitive instincts. He taps into their competitive instincts in that, which is a tactic. No, what's funny is Laviolette. Like I just know from watching this guy, he's. I know he was there. Like that's not those stats don't matter. It doesn't. We're gonna move this. He did it a couple of games, and it's like shit.
Yeah,
I gotta put this guy back in the game. And I think you pointed it out, Ray, in the post game that when they were going to celebrate kind of the end of the game, that they kept pushing Rempe around, and I'm like, the
Panthers as they skated off the ice took shots at Rempe, and it's
they really have. He's in their head a little bit.
Yeah.
And again, it's a cool story. Again, I remember his first game in the Winter Classic. I mean, it's just been a cool ride. But those are the types of those magical Jiminy Cricket stories that get you to where
he's a fun interview. The kid's 21 years old. He gets a shift late in game 4, and he thinks he's on the bench the rest of the game at this point because it's a tie game and all this stuff. And Laviolette's like, Rempe, go, give me 45 seconds or whatever it is. And he yelled, he was like, man, only my first thought was Jiminy Crickets, let's go.
I know.
When he's sitting on the post, how can you not love this kid?
Listen, I'm going to love this kid until we see him with the Flyers next season because you're going to play against us and it's going to be brutal against us, right? Anyway, fun series. If you're not watching that series, you're missing out. We'll see what the tune is next week because by next week, we'll probably know.
We'll probably know who's going where and who's what. Yeah. Real quick, your thoughts on the Trouba elbow. Did you think I looked at this 100 different ways, 100 different angles. I know this is maybe a little bit of Ranger biases. I think they got it right that it was 2 minutes. He really didn't hit him in the head. He hit more in the back. And by the way, Evan Rodriguez tried to do the same thing in that game, but he whiffed. He did try to do the same thing on Wenberg. I don't know. I think it was a good call. A lot of former referees are saying this was the right call. Lee, what are your thoughts?
You want to win the Stanley Cup?
Yes.
Then you're going to have to do whatever it takes to win the Stanley Cup.
Well, then Trouba's
a
doing
lot
whatever
of fans. A lot of fans are not going to agree or like what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But I don't think a lot of fans, and I'm going to sound a little condescending when I say this, understand what it takes to compete at that level, and that these guys are not friends right now.
No.
And if you want to win, you got to be mean. I am never for intentionally injuring somebody else.
Yeah.
But if you don't think that thought's going through people's heads right now, you are crazy.
Yep.
They will do anything they need to do to win. Okay. And you got to trust the officials. Everything's scrutinized this time of year. If he connected a different way, it might have been a different result.
Different story. Yeah. Well, okay. And I think that's part of it too, is the fact that Rodriguez didn't even leave the game. He just went right back to the bench.
Yeah. They don't make calls on perceived intention. Okay. They make calls on reality. Right. So it's the NHL playoffs and you're in the conference final.
Yeah.
If you're against that call, I want you to focus on Tkachuk tonight or the next game that you watch very intently and see the way he's playing, which I don't have a problem with, by the way.
Yeah.
All right. Because if you're going to want to call one, you're going to call the other.
Exactly.
All right. These guys are at a war with each other.
Yeah.
And they will do whatever it takes to win. I'm going to tell you right now, if you want to win the Stanley Cup, you have to do that. It might not sound nice, but it's true.
Well, I mean, and I think that's the thing. I think to your point, also, again, if they're going to call it against the Rangers, they have to call it against the Panthers too, which they have been. Because, again, this is the Rangers, basically, with Trouba doing that's just playing Panther hockey at that point. Because that's the Panthers. They're known as the bad. Well, he's playing hockey,
playoff hockey, okay?
Right.
Like I don't know why people are so shocked.
Yeah.
So there's no friends this time of year, all right? You're trying to win the Stanley Cup.
Yes.
I'm being honest. I would never tell a player on my bench to go hurt someone.
Right.
Like I'm just trying to put, like, again, a little bit of a picture on this, but I expect you to play to win at this time of year.
Yeah. That's it.
That's it.
Play to win the game. You play to win the game. I've been in these
situations, man. Like you play to win. Now, again, at the same time, if you get a penalty and puts us down, that's not playing to win.
Right.
All right. So you got to think about things like that.
Yeah, and like you said, emotions are running high, and
when you put anything in slow motion, it looks intentional.
Yes.
It all looks intentional in slow motion. All right. You got to be careful.
Yeah, 100%. Moving to the West now, Stars and Oilers. The Stars have taken a 2-1 advantage in that. The Oilers were up 2-0 in Game 3. The Stars came storming back. Robertson had a hat trick. And the Oilers just looked like two very different teams. They came out on fire in the first 20 minutes, and then they fell asleep. They were lucky they got a goal very late in the third, or in the second, to tie it up. And then Dallas weathered the storm in the third and then came out and won that game 5-3. Lee, we've been talking about it the whole playoffs. You shut down the Edmonton top line, and you kind of shut down Edmonton, and that's kind of what happened with Dallas. The top line for Edmonton scored 3 goals. Dallas, as a team, obviously Robertson had the hat trick, but Dallas puts up 5. They weathered the storm. They moved. They're now up 2-1 in that series. Lee, what are your thoughts on the Western Conference Finals?
Yeah, like I said last week, this is going to go 7, and I firmly believe that, because like if Connor McDavid wants to take over a game, he will. I don't care who's defending him. But I do think that the entire lineup of Edmonton has to show up for them to go all the way. But look, these games are all pretty close. Like again, we're talking empty net situations at the end of the games.
Yeah, I mean, so it was 4-3, and then Dallas had a empty netter. Yeah.
So, again, I could see this going 7. I think home ice plays a lot into it, right? And we'll see what happens, right? It's going to be an interesting series. But again, look, you've got great teams in the conference final on both the East and the West. I don't have as much to say about the Western Conference. I just think it's a very even matchup, and we'll see what happens. I would like to see Edmonton get to the Stanley Cup final. Mainly, I was thinking about this last night, right? Is that not that I have a pick for Dallas or Edmonton in terms of I prefer one or the other, but I'm kind of tired of the Edmonton story of being losers. Yeah. You've been given everything. You've been given everything.
100%.
Go. You don't need to win the final, but get to the final already. Like,
Yeah.
I'm exhausted with that storyline. This is like Cody Rhodes at WrestleMania. It's like, but you finish your story. I'm kind of like, yeah, I need Edmonton to beat Cody Rhodes, but they lose to the final boss, the Rangers, in the Stanley Cup
Yes.
final. That's what I would like to see happen. It's night 1 of WrestleMania. We'll just wait till, next year for night 2 or something like that.
Yeah.
All right. There's no Undertaker that comes out of nowhere. Like, Wayne Gretzky doesn't come out and just start playing for Edmonton out of nowhere. All right. But just like, I'm kind of like, I'm rooting for them in a weird way. I just like, it's like, come on, guys, like, do it already.
I
Right.
mean,
And
if
same thing
they,
like with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's like, I'm
yeah,
tired of you guys losing. Like, I kind of want you out of the way at this point. You can't
yeah.
figure it out.
Yeah, I mean, I personally don't mind if they keep losing. I really don't care. But it's definitely one of those things where it's like, this looks like this is an organizational problem at this point.
Yeah. Well,
If
and they'll just say that, well, we're in the conference final. We're doing it. It's hard to get to the cup final. No, you got the best player in hockey, 2 of
yes.
them.
I was gonna say at least you have 2 at least.
Yeah. You've made pretty stupid decisions when it comes to their contracts that have hindered the whole team. And if you look at any successful dynasty in history, the top players take less money to win.
Yeah.
Any of them. All right. Look that up if you don't believe me. All right.
Yeah.
I do believe Connor McDavid wants to win. I don't think he's the problem. He's a competitor. He knows what he needs to do.
Yeah. Absolutely.
It was in game 2, I believe, that he got the game winner in overtime, and he had missed it right. He missed an open net right at the end of the game. And he said, no, I have to do that. And Wayne Gretzky said, and he's right. He was like, no, guys like McDavid understand they have to end the game. They understand that's their role.
Yeah.
Right. Like a defenseman. So I think McDavid's got it down. I think he understands. All right.
He understands his role for sure.
But I'm just kind of like, look, Crosby won a Stanley Cup. Ovechkin won a Stanley Cup. Right. It's this kid's turn to go do it.
Yeah.
Right. One day, Connor Bedard will be leading Chicago to a Stanley Cup. I mean, I believe that. He's that good.
Yeah.
All right. But Edmonton, with your 72,464 first overall draft picks, time to win.
Yeah.
The conference.
Yes. The conference. That's it. Just the conference.
Yes.
Although, again, I said I picked Dallas at the beginning of this series just because I think Ettinger is such a better goaltender than Skinner.
Yeah. It's going to go 7. I just think this is going 7. The other thing, too, I kind of like the storyline of an Edmonton-New York final, considering that Mark Messier and Wayne Gretzky are now announcers.
Commentators,
Yeah, and while that's probably an easier choice for Gretzky, that's not as easy for Messier.
No.
Right? Even though he won 5 cups with Edmonton and 1 with New York. The one with New York is obviously iconic and legendary.
Right. Yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna call this right now. ESPN's their crew is better than TNT, I believe. I like Messier and Subban.
Yes.
I like Steve Levy. I like the way they interact with each other.
Absolutely.
I feel like TNT is trying too hard at times.
It feels like the NHL guys for TNT are trying so hard to be the NBA guys on
It's
TNT.
Exactly what it feels like, right? It's like that they watch that and do that. And like, honestly, I'm not knocking the commentators. I love seeing Gretzky up there. Obviously, I love seeing Lundqvist up there. Anson Carter's fun too. I don't have a lot of love for Biz. I just think he is a shock value guy, and it doesn't add much for me. He
doesn't add anything. And Liam
I'm
McHugh,
sure some hockey fans love him. McHugh's great. He's always.
I think McHugh was better at NBC because, again, to your point, I think he's desperately trying to. He's almost in Ernie's shadow a little bit with the NBA, and he's trying to stand out a little bit more.
And that's why I like the ESPN coverage. I'm saying that because, first off, I just think Messier and Subban's analysis is just it's a bit sharper and better.
Yes.
And to me, it's a little more hockey analysis instead of let's have a stupid thing that we do together, which is, look, I'm sure some fans love, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
And I'm also 40 years old. So Steve Levy, who's called the games when I was a kid.
Yeah.
Okay. So I love hearing that voice, and I love hearing the NHL Tonight theme. I loved watching Messier chase Subban around with the Stanley Cup. That was unbelievably funny. He's like, no, just touch it. Just touch it. He's like, don't touch me with that thing, Mess. But like, I feel like when I watch ESPN coverage, it's like, okay, let me hear what these guys have to say about the game. When I'm watching TNT, it's like, what's the next stupid thing that's going to come out of someone's mouth?
Yeah, they're going to do a bit. You're expecting a comedy bit, whereas you want to hear analysis about the game and how it might go. And especially me as a Ranger fan right now, as I'm watching this, and I'm like, what do we have to do to fix this mess? Like Messier, tell me what we're gonna do, please. Like,
and Messier, to his credit, has gotten a lot better. Like, this is what, his first or second year doing this.
I think it's maybe his first, or maybe
he started out a little. I didn't think he was sharp at the beginning of the season, but he's gotten really good as the year's gone on.
No, well, that's the thing. He's not trained to kind of do this stuff, but now he's kind of like, I'm sure the guys at ESPN have worked with him, and I'm sure he's comfortable
great.
now.
He's done really great. I really enjoy it. And again, look, there's an audience for both. And I think that, it's great that we have two options, I guess. We're not really options, but we have two places to go. One funny thing I'll bring up here, a very popular hockey page posted this week that there's a threat, that's the word they use. The WNBA might overtake the NHL in ratings. And they're like, what do you think about that? And I wrote on this post, I will watch hockey no matter where it's ranked.
Right.
And it got like 800 likes.
Yeah.
Because it's like, guys, first off, good for the WNBA.
Sure. Right? They're finally turning a corner as a league, like Caitlin Clark in terms of ratings and money and revenue. And
all right. That's number one, is I'm completely supportive of women's sports.
Go New York Liberty.
Number two is, if this was, 2001, where I didn't have the option to watch 4 billion channels on my stream service, and I had to, and they were choosing between the WNBA and the NHL, that would be frustrating because I want to watch hockey, not the women's sport. But here's a news flash. We don't have to do that anymore.
Right.
Because hockey can be on anytime, all the time, anywhere, and so can the WNBA.
Yep.
All right. So it's a stupid comment to try and create controversy. And I was really happy. Not that I got a lot of likes. It's not what I mean, but it was really cool to see the support of, I'm just going to watch it wherever it is. It's just such a stupid.
Well, it's an attempt at appealing to identity sports them, right?
Grow up. Grow up. The other night I was watching WNBA and NHL at the same time. Yes, I was, and I enjoyed it.
Well, there you go.
Oh my God. It's like sitting in a baseball field with your phone out watching hockey when the Padres are playing.
We'll get into that. Okay. Look, okay, I'm sorry. Me and my family planned this trip a year ago in the 2020.
Well, you should have planned around the Eastern Conference Final, Ray. I told you the Rangers
NHL should have planned.
I told you they were going to be there. I said it to you. This is the Rangers' year. We can go back to the beginning of the episode. Lee said this is
I didn't realize, though, that the games were going to be on the exact same time.
That sounds like a you problem, not a Rangers problem.
That's why I watched on my phone while also watching in the ballpark at the game. That's what
makes you a real fan. Someone should have took a picture of you watching hockey while at a baseball game. That would have been really fun. Listen, when the Rangers win the Stanley Cup, we're going to make a Lee montage of me saying they're going to win the Stanley Cup, and I'm going to put it everywhere. I'm going to spread it like wildfire. People are going to be so annoyed with me. They're going to be like, okay, we get it. I'm like, no. What do you get? I called the Rangers winning
more
the
so
Cup.
than usual, more annoyed with you than usual.
People are typically not annoyed with me. I get a lot of eye roll, but they're not annoyed with me. The other one is a good friend of mine who I coach with. When I said I think the Rangers can win the Stanley Cup, he said, "You're crazy. They won't even get out of the first round." I was like, "Oh, really? All right, okay." And then I got a call halfway through the playoffs. You might have been right about those Rangers.
Yeah.
I was like, I know I was right. You know why? Because people roll their eyes at me all the time. I said, I'm just kidding. I'm not this cocky. I'm so bad at this bit because it's not me.
I know. No,
the Rangers are 6 more wins away, baby.
I know. I'm counting down. I know. Please, just please.
Yeah.
It's been 30
Flyers
years.
Yeah.
I know. And
I know. Can we talk about how you were right about the Pacers?
Oh, yes. I was going to say, let's move into the NBA now.
Because I want to hear this isn't going to be a Ray rant. It's going to be a Ray gloat.
No, this is basically exactly what I predicted.
Exactly what you said happened.
The Celtics ran roughshod over the Pacers. The Pacers looked completely outmatched. And again, honestly, nobody's surprised. I think that the Celtics are absolutely dominated. But again, I think that, they were even my pick to win it all this year. Anyway, at the beginning of the playoffs. But to sweep the Pacers, I said as soon as the Pacers won Game 7, I said the only reason why they won is because the Knicks were so badly injured. Literally, our top 6 guys were out of that lineup by the end of Game 7 with Brunson's broken hand. And the Pacers were like, it's our year. We're teaming this.
No,
you were lucky that you got beat up Knicks team, because I said it, the only team that might give the Celtics a little bit of a fit, and even then I said the Celtics would probably beat us in 6, were the Knicks. They were the only team that matched up decently with the Celtics. And not only did Indiana not match up well with Boston, they matched up so bad that Boston swept them. They swept them. And honestly, what's crazy is tonight we might get 2 sweeps in the conference finals for the NBA.
It's horrible, by the way.
It's awful. But I will say this. I will admit this. I never saw the Wolves getting swept by the Mavericks. Right? I thought the Wolves were going to win this series. I thought it was going to be a long series. The Wolves, I don't know if they just expended all their energy getting through Denver in that 7-game series.
They might have. Yeah.
Completely possible. But the Mavericks, they look like they are a team. Luka is absolutely just he is doing what Joker did last year in the playoffs. Yeah, every shot's going down. He's making every play, every loose ball. Kyrie has not gone crazy yet. And as long as it's not Kyrie stays sane, and that's not a reference to Kyrie Sane, the WWE wrestler. That is, as long as Kyrie Irving does not go insane, he is a great ball player, and him and Luka is a terrific 1-2 punch. There's never been a reverse sweep in NBA history. I'm going to say right now, I'm going to go out on a limb. It ain't going to happen again here. Maybe the Minnesota Timberwolves take game 4, but then Dallas finishes in a 5.
Not basketball. Dallas is sweeping, and I'll tell you why they're sweeping, because Boston swept, and now they have to match that energy. So they're going to be extra competitive. They're going to win this series. You're going to have 2 teams sweeping the conference final, which is horrible. And then going to the NBA final, where it should be good. Should be, but
Boston, I think, will still win.
They're the best team in the league.
Yeah. And in the NBA, the best team in the league in the regular season typically is also the best team in the playoffs and goes all the way. So not a lot of upsets. Again, the big upset was the Knicks getting so badly injured and the Pacers were able to knock them off in 7. It still took them 7 games. So so not a lot of basketball because it's kind of what we predicted months ago.
Yes, I also haven't dedicated my life to basketball, which is
that's true. It's true, but again, there's also not much. Like you said, when you're having 2 conference final sweeps.
Yeah, what do you say? One team's good, one team's not.
That's it.
You just said it right there, Ray. The Pacers beat up Knicks team in 7.
Yeah,
that was a pretty large precursor of things to come.
Yeah, and then again, it looks like Minnesota used all their energy getting by Denver in 7, and now Dallas and Boston are the beneficiaries of that. They picked them apart. So we're going to have the Celtics versus the Mavericks. The Celtics going for their record, I believe, 19th NBA championship, which would break the tie they have with the Lakers right now. The Mavericks going for their 2nd ever NBA championship. So I think Boston's going to win. I'd love to see Dallas pull off the upset. Just because, again, obviously I'm always going to root for the underdog. And I think an upset in the
Go Jazz.
The NBA would benefit from an upset, in my opinion.
Yeah. Well,
but,
yes. Lakers got that midseason tournament win.
And then fired their coach. Awesome. LA Lakers. Yeah. Long time from the Showtime Lakers. Long time from the Kobe Lakers. But anyway, so that's the NBA. As always, let us know if you guys think any different. We always want to hear that about that stuff. But now we're moving down to baseball. We got a lot of baseball stuff. So this weekend I was in San Diego, the whale's vagina. So Anchorman, that's an Anchorman reference. Does
it mean Saint Diego? No, no, that's not correct.
And by the end of that series, I was definitely telling everybody in San Diego go F themselves. Because the Padre fans, who, again, like most California sports fans, are terrible sports fans.
That's what's in.
Yeah, exactly. They thought that because they took 1 game. Again, the Yankees won the series 2 out of 3. Again, it's a regular season series. And the Padres fans on the last game, you thought they had won the World Series.
Yeah.
And that's what happens when you have a culture of losing. In fact, actually, we laughed so hard, even as Yankee fans. Petco Park has been open for 20 years. Do you want to know what 3-game series set the attendance record for Petco Park in the last 20 years?
I believe that was the Yankee series.
Yes. In fact, it was this last weekend. because there were so many Yankee fans that it's the first time ever they've had 3 straight shutout or sellouts.
Sellouts.
It felt like Yankee Stadium. It really did. We outnumbered them in San Diego.
You said that.
By a 60-40 margin.
Well, San Diego's very close to New York, Ray. It's understandable. It's just a little stones toss across the country.
I was talking to folks. Some of these other Yankee fans, they're like, I'm from Alabama.
Oh, yeah. They're
Florida.
Everywhere.
I'm from Minnesota. I'm from North Dakota. I am from my family from North Jersey and New York and whatnot. Obviously, I drove down from LA. Padre fans were like, we just kind of found, we just had the tickets and they were around. And kind of remembered that there was a baseball game this weekend and we thought it might be fun. Yeah.
That's what's in.
The Padre fans, I'll say that San Diego's very nice, but it is a pathetic excuse for a sports town. It's why you have only one sports team left, and you do a horrible job supporting them. We absolutely drowned you out all 3 games. We should have swept, but Gleyber Torres decided to make another error. Trade bait Torres. # trade bait Torres. But no, it was great. We absolutely. I love it. The one fan turned around to me and was like, "You're really loud." And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm cheering for my team." And Lee knows this. I don't get negative. I don't yell at "F this guy, F that guy." I'm not like. I'm very much let's go Yankees all game long. And I don't think and definitely a lot of them weren't used to. Although one lady sitting near me decided to try to, she got very drunk over the course of 9 innings and tried to be as loud as I was. And it didn't work. And she just got really, really drunk. And it was a really, really bad scene for her. And her husband kind of had to drag her out of there. And it was, and I'm like, yeah.
Stupid New York Mets, Yankees fans.
They can't match the energy.
Jets.
Yeah, 134,000 people over 3 games. The Yankee fans set an attendance record in San Diego. So that was fun. It was good to be with the family and to go down and see that.
Lovely story, Ray. Once again, the Yankees prevail in something, but the next story here looks like it's the end of something.
There's a new book coming out in New York talking about the end of the Joe Torre era with the Yankees, the end of the dynasty, and his fallout with Brian Cashman. And it only confirms even more how much I hate Brian Cashman and why Brian Cashman should be fired. The big story that was revealed in the book, I haven't read the book, but this was an excerpt, obviously, to try to help sell the book. Ron Guidry, for those who don't know, of course, one of the greatest Yankee pitchers of all time, won the championships with them in 77 and 78. Louisiana Lightning is what they called him. Absolute ace. Became the Yankee pitching coach in 2006 and 2007 under Joe Torre when Mel Stottlemyre, who had been the longtime pitching coach for the Yankees, decided to finally retire. And Brian Cashman was like, so what kind of newfangled metrics are you going to bring in? And Ron Guidry's like, I'm going to see if they can throw strikes.
They made this movie Moneyball, and in the movie, Brad Pitt takes his team almost to be good. Yeah,
they takes him to a first-round loss against the Yankees. That was the pinnacle of that movie, folks.
Yeah.
And all he does is all that work just to lose to the Yankees in the first round.
You changed the game. Thanks.
Yeah, and you still lost.
Yeah.
You changed the game for the worse, and you still lost. Anyway, so Brian Cashman
and the A's would go on to have a very, very historic career over the next 25 years, winning many World Series and setting MLB records for their division.
Setting records in losses and lack of attendance.
And then moved to another city.
Yes, they're on their way to Vegas. I tell people all the time.
Viva Las Vegas! Sorry, I had to do it.
There's 2 teams right now that have no plans for a City Connect jersey. The Yankees, because obviously tradition, and the Athletics, because they have no city to connect to.
Right.
So
the Yankees jerseys are a City Connect jersey.
Exactly. Unlike the Mets City Connect jerseys, which just look terrible, just like the team. Boy, oh boy, they continue to just fall apart, and I take great joy in it because it's so hysterical to see how bad they are. They're just so bad. And
you are such a delectable man.
I mean, hey, look, it's just nice to see Mets fans get put in their place year after year after year after year after year.
We'll talk about the NL East in a minute. I want to hear about this book and your thoughts.
So Ron Guidry, basically, yes, let's get back to the Ron Guidry story. Brian Cashman's like, well, we're going to start doing bullpen sessions. It's your job as the pitching coach to mark how many pitches the guys throw. And Ron Guidry's like, if they feel like throwing 20 pitches, let them throw 20 pitches. If they feel like throwing 40 pitches, let them throw 40 pitches. It's kind of up to the player. Shouldn't it be up to the player how they feel? Like, I'm not going to institute some crazy,
sabermetric.
Yeah, exactly. So Cashman's like, they should be throwing 30 pitches. So Ron Guidry, in a little spiteful, little old school baseball, every pitcher got marked 30 pitches, 30 pitches, 30 pitches, 30 pitches, 30 pitches. And Brian Cashman's like, so everybody's doing 30? And he's like, yeah, everybody's doing 30 pitches. Everybody's doing 30 pitches. And Joe Torre's just like, I believe Ron. That's my pitching coach. I believe him, So Cashman, in his infinite wisdom, installs security cameras in the bullpens and where they're doing the bullpen sessions.
The ego.
And he makes someone count all the pitchers' pitches and mark them down. And then he went to Ron Guidry and was like, this is the bullpen report. And Ron Guidry's like,
cool.
Okay, whatever. Sure. And then Joe Torre, and understandably so, is like, you put cameras? You're watching the coaches? Let us worry about the players and the team. Your job is to build the team. Again, it's the Moneyball scene. You give me the team. I manage the team. And that's why Brian Cashman was like, yeah, this can't work anymore. I'm done.
Yeah, it's worked out really well.
Yes, the Yankees have won once since then. And the reason why the guy who took us to that World Series, Cashman let him go, because again, Cashman's like, I want more numbers.
It worked out really well.
And then they instituted Aaron Boone, who has been one of the worst managers in Yankee history. A puppet. He's a puppet. He's a puppet.
Right. The children that were born during that last World Series championship are turning 15 this year.
They've never seen a World Series.
There are a generation of Yankees fans that have never experienced winning.
It's ridiculous. It's unheard of.
No, it's unheard of. It's unheard of that anyone could go that long without winning a World Series.
It's been 15 years.
15 years, man. It's been 16 for me. I get it.
Yeah. Actually, this ties, at least from my knowledge, since when the Yankees first won the World Series, their first World Series win was 1923, which of course came 20 years after their inception in 1903. Since then, I don't think we've had longer than a 15. The only other 15-year stretch where we did not win a World Series was we won in 1962 and then didn't win again until 1977. Right. And then actually, okay, so winning, actually, that's true. Winning, it's 18 years, actually. So 78 to 96, 18 years. But we were in the World Series in 81 because we were in the World Series in 81.
Are you impressed that I knew that, right?
Yes, no, that's a great call. Yes, I missed math.
I know more about the Yankees than the average man.
I missed my math there, but yeah.
I think living in New York that long has helped me out.
Osmosis. It's
because we're always talking about it. Joking aside, it's been a minute, and I'll say this too, that as of today, the two favorites, you'd have to pick the two favorites to be in the World Series are the Yankees and the Philadelphia Phillies.
100%.
And with Arcia getting severely hurt,
Acuna.
I apologize. With Acuna getting severely hurt, we'll cut that, but we won't. Phillies are in a position now where, look, if you play 500, you're sitting really well.
The Marlins are terrible. The Nationals are terrible. The Mets are terrible. The Braves might get a wild card.
They're not dead in the water. They're just missing a huge piece. It's like Bryce Harper getting hurt. Now, with that said,
and they also don't have Spencer Strider now either. They're number one starter. So like,
the other thing too is
Braves were my National League pick. I'm sorry, they are not my National League pick.
No, they can't be. I mean, look, here's the other difference is that like with the Phillies right now, and we'll have to see what happens with the Braves. With the Phillies, Trey Turner went down. That's a huge loss.
Yeah,
but I mean, the guys have stepped up. Sosa has stepped up big time, right? I mean, he's looking like an all-star at the moment.
Yeah.
Right. And you have other guys that are stepping up big time. So like they filled in. I don't know if the Braves have a roster to do that.
No.
I've seen crazier things happen though, to be super fair.
Sure.
All right. Cody Clemens out of nowhere, just getting humongous hits for us. Right.
Yeah.
And the Phillies just dropped 2-0. And it's like, I'm experiencing this now where they dropped two in a row, not 2-0. They dropped two games in a row. And a lot of Phillies fans are like, oh, this is weird. It's a cool place to be. Phillies looking really, really good right now. Yeah. But Phillies Yankees, man. Like, I think that's possible.
100%. Absolutely. My prediction at the beginning of the year, April 1st, I said Braves and Baltimore.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that, again, you said crazier things have happened. Baltimore is still very good. They're only 2.5 games back of the Yankees. Who knows what can happen once playoff time comes around. But the Phillies should be the hands down favorite now to win the East.
If they stay healthy, yeah. They look great. They look great. And they look pissed. You know, they were interviewing Rob Thompson the other night, and he was saying that, you know, they just about how well they're doing. But he said kind of poignantly, like, look, they want this. They're pissed off they didn't get to the World Series last year. They're pissed off they didn't win the World Series a couple years ago. They understand how close they are, and they want it. I'll tell you right now, as a fan, I love hearing that.
Yep.
All right, because it means they're not playing to beat the other teams. They're playing because they're mad. I mean, they're having a lot of fun. Don't get me wrong. But they're playing because they want to win the World Series. That's what every baseball team wants to hear. Not the Mets, where it's like, well, we like to win the World Series.
Yeah.
We like to win. No, the Phillies want it. Yeah. They really want it. The Yankees look like they want it.
Yes, absolutely.
So here it is.
Juan Soto, Alex Verdugo. Yeah.
Like, we're calling it Yankees Phillies in the World Series. Of course, if they get there, we'll go back to this episode and blast it all over the internet. And if it's not what happens, we will never talk about this again.
Yeah, no, it's going to be, like you said, as long as everybody stays healthy. But even that, like you said, guys have been stepping up. The Yankees haven't had Garrett Cole. Last year's Cy Young winner hasn't. Our ace has been hurt.
Arguably the best pitcher in baseball.
And this guy and Luis Heel comes out of nowhere and is like, oh, I have a top 10 ERA in Major League Baseball now with a 2.11 ERA. And even though I never pitched a full season, hey, look at me. Hi, guys. Just coming out of nowhere. Clark Schmidt having the best year of his career. Rodon is back, healthy. Stroman, we're getting what we expected from Stroman. Nestor Cortez coming back from injury. Nestor, weird splits. Fantastic at Yankee Stadium. Horrible everywhere else.
Right.
If you're a smart manager, that means he doesn't pitch anywhere in the playoffs that isn't Yankee Stadium.
That's true.
Like, number 2 starter, making him number 2 just because he can pitch at Yankee Stadium. But anyway, no, it's been a great year, and the Yankees are getting healthy. DJ LeMahieu comes back tonight, who's been hurt also the first 2 months.
Who also hit a game-winning home run in an All-Star game in your video game one time.
That's very true.
I will never forget that clip for some reason. Okay, moving on. We have other baseball career.
Yeah, we have a lot to go with baseball. A lot of terrible umpires all around the league. Oh, by the way, one of the fun things about the San Diego Padres, they play the games on TV at the stadium, and that's not good because, like me, I will see the umpire make what I think is a bad call. Then I will look at the TV and I'll yell, "Hey, Blue! Blue, I can see it on the TV! That was 3 inches outside! You suck, Blue!"
That's awesome.
So, because it's the truth, and my people appreciated that because the umpires are awful. And by the way, he was calling it bad. Bill Miller was calling him bad on Saturday night for both teams. Like the fact, like he might be the next target for who we should try to shut down in baseball because boy, oh boy, is he terrible. Him, Laz Diaz, CB Buckner, get out along with Angel Hernandez.
Leave.
Angel Hernandez, the worst umpire in our lives,
Gone.
finally is retiring. Finally, he has heard the internet, and he relents, and he's like, I'm getting too old for this. And we're like, we've been saying that for years. Get out. He's like, I'm going to go spend some time with my family. I'm like, do you even know what they look like? Because you can't see anything. You suck. And he's gone.
He made a good call.
For once.
Finally made a good call. Look, I go back and forth on this. I've tried to have some empathy for this situation, and it's really hard. He has statistically been horrible at his job for a while. I think he knows he's getting an amazing amount of criticism. I'm sure he got to a point where he didn't want to hear it anymore.
Yep.
But, you know, Ray, and we're going to talk about the ego of umpires a little bit here across the board. Sometimes I wonder if if this was an FU. The guy's had kind of a controversial career within the MLB. The MLB was in a position with him where they couldn't fire him, right? That was, like, we can go into that deeper another time, but like he was not someone who could be fired because of some of the suits he has filed against the MLB. Kind of they handcuffed themselves to never being able to fire the guy. So this is the only way it could end. And it makes me wonder if he stuck around. I mean, somebody said it right. Who was it? Somebody said it right on the internet. I can't remember who it was right now, but it was a pretty well-known reporter had said, it is a problem that every single night you are an official, the story is about you.
Yeah.
That's not good. And I agree with that. I will also say people are always looking for Hernandez to make a mistake.
Sure.
But you think he would get better at his game. Yeah. I mean, he was just a horrible, horrible umpire and a horrible baseball official. And I hate to say it like this, but I am glad he's gone because I don't want to talk
100%.
about the guy anymore.
No.
Now, I will say this. I'm not transitioning out here, but I will say this, that baseball must be doing something right from a player and baseball standpoint, because this year the biggest problem is the umpires.
Yes.
Right? Like, we're not talking about balls or cheating or anything like that. Like,
not
different
anymore.
balls being played. Yeah, we're talking about how horrible umpires, and kind of on a nightly basis.
Yes.
And it's getting a little annoying now. I'm like, I don't want to talk about umpires anymore. I don't want to talk about it. The fact that there's a weekly program that shows the top 10 worst missed calls is a problem.
Yeah.
And by the way, Hernandez always made the list every week.
Every week he was there near the top. And it's really look, this is good for the game to get new blood in there. And to your point, some of the lawsuits that he brought against MLB, I mean, the union, his tenure and all that, there was a lot of handcuffs on him. Yeah. Because he was trying to make it about race at several points, and it was never about that. It's the fact that you suck. You're bad at your job.
I will say this, that the one good thing I can say about him is that he did push to see a different race in that position.
Absolutely, much more. He was at the forefront of diversity in Major League Baseball umpiring, and if that is his legacy, great. Then God bless him. Hopefully that is. I don't want to take away from that. 100%. 100%.
You were bad at your job.
100% as well.
All right.
Yes.
I mean, and it's been for what? 7 years, 6-7 years. He's
been an umpire for I think almost
since 91. I don't ever remember hearing his name until a few years ago. So
and that's the other thing too, is we have the technology now to be like, we can see how bad you are. We always kind of suspected it, but now we can definitively see on every broadcast that you are really missing one of every 4 calls, basically, and that's bad. That's really bad. Yeah. So. Another guy who missed the call this week. This was ridiculous. Down in Miami.
This was ridiculous.
the Marlins dugout was barking at the home plate umpire, balls and strikes, the usual deal. And the head coach, I believe it's Skip Schumacher down there, came out and was barking. The umpire was like, "Enough! I hear anything else, you're gone." And from anybody else in your bench, they're gone. Bench coach starts coming down, starts clapping real loud. Just clapping. And the umpire yells, "That's it. I've had it. You're out of here." And Skip Schumacher comes out and he's like, "Who's out of here?" And he's like, Someone's out. Someone from your side's out of here. And he's like, what do you mean? You're throwing people out? You don't even know who you threw out? He's like, I heard something, and one of yours are gone. And he's like, well, who? Tell me who? Who? The crew chief has to come down, and it's like, look, this is a bad look. This is taking too long. Like, just pick somebody. Just pick somebody.
He told the coach to pick someone.
Yeah, he told the coach.
Like, I'm not picking someone.
No, it's your job. And he was like, I would probably pick the bench coach. And he was like, he was just clapping. The umpires have gotten so ridiculous. This is like Boone getting ejected. Again, you all know I don't like Boone, but I was like, this was terrible when he got ejected because the fan said something in the first row. The umpires are getting the ego on these umpires and making it about them. And the second they get their feelings hurt because they keep making mistakes, because they don't know what they're doing, and it's so hard. It's so hard to call balls and strikes and do that for a living. It's so hard, Lee. Poor me. Poor the ballpark. No, you morons! I'm still trying to figure out a chant about how to replace the, like CPU. Like I'm trying to think.
I'm blind. I'm deaf. I wanna be a ref.
Yeah. No, yeah, we need something specifically for, like, I think more tailored to the umpires.
Listen,
for
here's
baseball.
The deal. You said it. The ego is incredible. I understand officials having to stand up for themselves and saying, hey, listen, don't push yourself in my space. This is my job. This has gone too far.
Yes.
Bryce Harper got ejected the other night for seemingly speaking to an umpire.
Yes.
All right. And again, I haven't seen the lip reading on it yet, which will come out soon, I'm sure. But I'm pretty sure he was just asking a question in a critical way.
Where was it? Like,
and then he throws him out of the game, and Bryce Harper's like, "Whoa, I'm just asking, like, I'm honestly asking." So I'm taking Harper's side on that for obvious reasons, but
yes,
it's too much. You guys are becoming the story, and that's not the story.
Yeah,
right. Like, I don't know what to say, man. I've seen guys in the NHL tell refs to go F themselves, and the refs like, okay,
yeah.
Like, this isn't about you guys.
Yeah.
All right. I'd love to hear the union meetings of why you think you can do this. There's a very perfectly easy option to replace you. Are you feeling the heat on that? Because this is not helping.
Yeah. Well, and that's
making
the
case.
Exactly. Is that if anything, we now have the case more and more as to why we either to expand replay at the major league level or to replace the umpires altogether. Because honestly, like, or at least remove balls and strikes from their purview. Because even this, now we're starting to find out from, like, hot mics that, like, the umpires are kind of also starting to lean more on replay. There was a hot mic the other day, I think it was down in Baltimore, where they called a game, or might have even been in Philly, where they called a double. I think it was Texas versus Philly, actually. I think Corey Seager they called it a double, and the umpire got caught with a live mic where he was like, yeah, man, we're just always going to call it a double now and let the replay overturn it because I don't want to be caught with calling it a home run and then turning it back to a double. It just looks bad on us. And he dropped a lot of F-bombs in between there too, which, by the way, again, not good when it's a hot mic. Even the broadcast was like, but it's like, that's what happens. Like, the umpires now have be like, yeah, we're not as good as the computer. We're not as good as it. They even admit it at this point.
Look,
like,
here's the deal. When we did not have the technology, that aspect of the game was chance. Because we didn't have the technology. Guy was calling strikes on the outside corner. You have to react to that. That's when we did not have the technology. Yep. But the game has changed. Now we have the technology. So I'm sorry, fans. Again, we talked about this. Oh, it's part of the game. No, it's not anymore. It does not need to be part of the game anymore.
No.
Okay? They used to segregate baseball. Okay? That's not part of the game anymore. It was wrong. This is wrong now.
Yeah.
Okay? We don't need that anymore. It's either implement the robot umps or take the damn rectangle off my freaking screen.
Yeah.
So I can completely bitch about balls and strikes not knowing. This is a better place to bitch about it.
Yeah. Again, I was at the game. They had it on the TVs, the monitors at the game.
Brutal.
With the MLB Network. MLB Network had the game, and you had the balls. I would see it happen in real life, and then there's like a 2-second delay, and then I'm like, oh, I got the TVs right here if you need help. I'm right here. That was outside.
You know what kills me? I just realized this. It wouldn't even be hard.
No?
This would make you laugh. For the MLB to not tell anyone that, hey, we're going to put a microphone or a speaker in the ump's helmet and just tell them what it was. So that they call it right. It'd be funny if suddenly all of a sudden every umpire got 100% correct.
100%.
No one would be upset. Oh, wow, they got really good at this. Like, you have the solution.
Yeah.
You're letting the pitchers and the catchers talk through that now.
I was going to say we have the pitch comm now where there's no more signals. There's no more sign stealing or anything. I mean, there still could be, but like completely different. Like it's that simple. Just put a little thing in his ear.
Yeah.
And that's it.
One is a strike. 2 dots is a ball.
That's it.
That's ball. You can still do your best. Hey, you can
do all your arm motions. Like you're doing a kung fu movie.
I'm over it, man. I'm over them. I'm over these umpires. Get out of baseball. It's time.
That's it. And here's another perfect example of it. Moving into our last sports story.
Yes, and this is great for the game.
The NFL has finally said we are going to try in the preseason, and if it works, we are going to implement it in the regular season. They're putting electronic signals in the footballs for first downs.
Amazing.
That's it.
Amazing.
That's it. No more chain gang. No more of that. It's like, that's it, folks. We did it. We have the technology. We've had the little yellow line on our TVs for 20 years. We're gonna finally put that in the footballs now. Football hits the sensor. First down. That's it. That's it.
I'll tell you something else, Ray. Is that, and this is why I love this, is that Jason Kelce was joking about. He likes the chain gang. He likes that there's little things you can do.
They're nice guys.
Yeah. Well, he said the gamesmanship of it, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, he was joking, right? And it's like, look, man. Like everyone says it. It's a game of inches. So wouldn't you want the technology that can correctly calculate the inches, which you have now? I want to tell you this right now, man. I am tired in football of seeing games lost because of something like that, right? I don't want to lose a Super Bowl or win a Super Bowl because I did or did not make a first down by someone's opinion.
Yeah.
More than inches. If it's a first down, if you earned it, you get it. Period. Great move by the NFL. I hope it works out fine. If it does not work correctly, I understand them pulling it, but it's going to work fine.
Well, that's why they're going to try it in the preseason,
right?
Work out any bugs, hopefully, and then
it's going to be great. And again, it's a game of inches. Don't you want the correct technology for that?
Yeah.
All right.
It's that simple.
If the NHL could do that with pucks crossing the goal line, they would have done it already. I had the privilege of interviewing the person in the situation room, and they said they've tried a lot of technology. The problem is they cannot. It's not where it needs to be for it to work yet. They've been very open about that. They also have 15 views on the net.
Right.
Okay, so when they say it's in or out of the net, it's probably pretty definitive that it's in or out of the net.
Yeah,
right.
It's very close.
Someone was saying, "Well, why can't you just get it when it crosses the plane? Because the puck flies through the air. It's not as simple as you think."
Yes. Okay. Well, I mean, that's the thing. And usually most of the time it's only really hard because it has to be, again, the rule is the entire puck has to cross the line.
And that's not the rule for first down. It's just touching the plane.
It just has to break it just has to touch the plane.
So it's like, gosh darn it, man. Again, sometimes I wonder, Ray, when the video games have to make problems, well, the video games will call balls a strike every once in a while, right? Does that happen in MLB The Show?
It happens all the time and it drives me nuts.
I know, right? It's in the game. Bad reffing sports. It's in the game.
Yeah, I literally had a highlight a couple of weeks ago where I was up at the plate and Anthony Rizzo, my digital Anthony Rizzo, I took a pitch that should have been strike three. Like, it fooled me, not gonna lie. It was a slider that came back, backdoor slider came back, hit the inside corner, and the game called it a ball, and I hit a home run in the very next pitch, and I'm like, oh my god, it's just like real life.
I mean, can you imagine being the guy at EA or whoever makes that game? Like, hey, listen, we got
Sony San Diego,
12% of the strikes have to be balls.
Yeah.
It's like, wait, what? What?
And like 3% of the balls have to be strikes.
You know what? I used to like video games because they were fair.
To be fair, they do have the option to turn that off in the show.
I would turn it off if I was playing, but I understand.
I just leave it as default. But I'm definitely like, and at this point, I don't know. I'm just too lazy to mess with the settings.
No, don't mess with anything.
Anyway. Oh, but the good on the NFL finally fixing that. I think that's a good thing. I will say, and actually MLB The Show should expand its replay. Just like Major League Baseball should expand its replay. Because boy, oh boy, either their character models don't work, or boy, oh boy, am I safe a lot more times than they call me out. Anyway, and it's probably, that's a whole thing with hitboxes and collision and video games.
Right. If they had the league and they replaced all the parts of the league with new parts, would it still be the same league?
Oh, it is both the league and not the league.
Oh. Well, let me just fly away for years now.
We are moving into the geek section of the show, folks, and you could call the league, what is it, the ship of Theseus in that that example?
The ship of I'm gonna go away for a few years.
Yeah. Finally, the MCU has realized, oh yeah, we kind of had we got a lot of loose strings that we need to tie up.
Yeah.
A couple of weeks ago they announced
1,000.
Yeah. A couple weeks ago, they did finally announce that we're gonna finally get, I think by the end of this year, the Agatha show that we were promised.
Yeah, but they also announced too that their shows now are going to be open and closed, meaning that they were very poignant. Like, well, they're not going to connect to the larger MCU in the way they have in the past, of it's leading to another thing. It's like you could watch these at any time, and I'm like, that's a great thought that you probably should have done 5 years ago.
Right.
You have a problem now.
Right.
Yeah, you could have led with that.
So now all these shows are basically just feel like they're going to basically just tie up all these loose ends that they created, or a lot of them anyway. And one of them is The Vision is finally getting his own, I almost said MTV, MCU show in 2020.
It's so confusing. It's shot right back to 1994.
I'm Kurt
The Vision show.
I'm Kurt Loder. This is your MTV News Minute.
Kurt Loder, man, he's in his 90s almost.
I'm gonna look this up. I'm gonna say he's in his 70s.
I think he's in his 80s, dude. I think he's way older than that because I think he was 40 in like the 90s. You know, I know the math works there in your favor. Just watch.
So he just celebrated his 79th birthday.
Damn it! I was so close.
So close. Technically, I'm correct. You were very close, but technically I am correct.
No. We'll use the MLB variants, and I'm correct.
But by Price is Right rules, I'm right.
Okay, we could go Wheel of Fortune rules where guys are now guessing unbelievably inappropriate. Right in the butt. The best part of that.
Sajak was so close to retirement.
Sajak going, no.
No.
For those of you who don't know what we're talking about, there was a Wheel of Fortune puzzle, and first off, the guy guessed right in the butt, which could not have been it because the first word didn't
fit. The letters didn't fit.
Right.
The guy's name was Tavares, like Tavares, who plays for the Leafs, but his first name was Tavares.
It was stupid, and I was oh my god, we're devolving. This is so bad. Right in the butt.
Right in the butt. Oh my god. Oh.
Nobody laughed. It wasn't even a joke.
No,
and what was it actually? It was something like so obvious.
This is the best. This is the
best.
That was the actual puzzle solution. I will say the lady next to him kind of like stifled a laugh, but like, yeah, she kind of was like, and then she ended up solving it.
Well, she knew it wasn't right in the butt. So
it wasn't right in the butt.
Cancel that one out. Right in the butt. Yes, what a schmuck. Schmuck of the week.
Yeah, that's our
Vision.
Of the week.
Vision's getting its own TV show.
Yes.
Vision's a very important character in the MCU. So like I can understand why they did this. My question for Vision, Ray.
Yes.
I guess we're saying like white Vision, gray
I
Vision.
imagine it has to, because the other Vision was just a figment of Wanda's magic. So
did he go to space? Or is he still on Earth?
That's a great question. Is he? I mean, you just said they're not going to connect it, but boy, would he have been a perfect thing to connect somehow to maybe them as Captain Marvel.
There's a lot of shit they could have connected him to. They failed. Now I'm saying to you, the space thing says, if he's not in space, Ray, where the hell has he been? I can get the space thing of like, oh, he was in space. Superman went to space once, left for years. Everyone was just like, oh, I guess he just was gone for a long time because he went to space. If he went to Kentucky and just hung out for 5 years, I'm gonna have a problem with that.
No, he went to the Celestial, sleeping in the Indian Ocean, and just kind of hung out there and was like, everybody's gonna forget about this. It's like, I'm just gonna hang out here for a while.
White Vision, you schmuck.
I called that.
So many chances of him to come back, and they didn't do it.
Yeah, no, he should have been because you introduced Photon in that TV series. You could have easily had him somehow be involved in the Marvels.
It made sense.
Which was still a great movie, by the way.
I agree with you. I still don't understand all the hate that film's getting.
Don't get that. But yeah, I hope they do this right. I hope to do Vision justice. Vision is such an important part. Even if they have him become a part of the Young Avengers, like, to me, this is the one thing that I don't want you to tie the loose end up on. Vision is such an important character in the MCU. Was great. Yeah.
We enjoyed it. And it's like you had the guts to introduce the White Vision.
Yeah.
Like, to have the guts to do it now. Like, what does the comic books do with him? Is he just kind of hang out, or?
So, I mean, he's a part of the Avengers. He stays a part of the Avengers. So, I mean, like, you could tie him into the next Captain America movie. You could do so much with him. Yeah. Like, God, he could go help Hawkeye or something. I don't there's so much you could do with him.
If we ever see Hawkeye again, I'll be sure.
No, I know. But like,
I mean, in an action sequence, I should say.
True.
He is. They timed Hawkeye perfectly to retire Jeremy Renner, and God bless him that he's okay.
Yes, 100%. That he survived his horrible.
He was talking about that injury the other day on Jimmy Fallon.
Yeah,
and he went into great detail.
Yeah,
and I didn't realize exactly how hurt this man was.
He was so close to dying.
He should not have survived that. I mean, he talks. I'm not going to go into the details, but he just talks about
very candidly. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't want to say it over here. There's things about his eyes, and I'm like, oh my God. Okay.
Yeah.
God bless you. And he looks great. He looks like himself.
You would never have known he had been in that kind of horrific accident.
It's insane. I mean, you can tell when he's walking that he's obviously
there's a little bit of a limp and stuff there.
Yeah, but man, God bless that guy for being alive. But yeah, look, Vision 2026. I'm trying to think about all the films we're going to get before then.
Well, obviously we got Deadpool, Wolverine in less than 2 months.
Yep, Agatha All Along will be out by then.
Yeah, we're going to get the next Captain America next year.
Yeah, Brave New World.
Yep.
Right. So I mean, here's the thing: I don't know. The MCU has kind of said, "Well, we're going to go back to 2 movies a year, 3 movies a year," but they haven't changed anything. They haven't changed anything on their calendar. So it's like, are you talking about now, or are you talking about after this calendar is done?
I think they did push. Well, obviously they're not only renaming it the Kang Dynasty, but they've also pushed it back.
Yeah.
And I think the couple others they've pushed back a little bit, but not that much.
We'll see. I think with the success of X-Men 97, now they're probably thinking about a lot of things over there.
Well, now they're thinking about maybe moving X-Men up, capitalizing on it. I mean, especially if Deadpool Wolverine is a smash hit, which I have no reason to believe it wouldn't be. Like, this has to be, like, X-Men might be the thing for them to move up with.
Yeah,
finally.
Look, X-Men always has a place.
100%. Speaking of box office,
here's the deal: is that we have not had the feeling of the Avengers now for a bit.
Yeah.
And actually, the X-Men 97 is the first thing that kind of did that.
Yeah.
Right. So, again, I always forget her name, Miss Marvel, but she said it right. Like, you're not allowing people time to care about these characters.
Vellani.
Yeah, you're not giving people time to care. X-Men 97 works because I care deeply about those characters, and I just happen to have some time with them.
Yeah, we had 20. Yeah, we had 20 years to wait for them. We had a lot of time to care about them.
Right.
So, real quick, I heard. Speaking of big blockbusters at the movies and whatnot, Furiosa absolutely bombed this Memorial Day weekend. That came down. So that's considered a flop now. So, but that's also don't make prequels.
Well, it's a mix of that. I think people are tired of dystopian movies. When bread costs what it costs and eggs cost what they cost, it's like the last thing I want to see is the desert wasteland. It's potentially a couple of years away with the
exactly. Yeah, we don't want to see the future on film because it's like, oh man, that could happen now.
The problem is
not good.
It sounds like Chris Hemsworth did a really, really good job in this film, and it bombed. And it's like he's gonna start losing some of his star power here. I'll tell you what else I saw this picture of The Rock, in his new film coming out about being one of the first UFC fighters, and it looks really good. He's never done anything like this.
Yeah.
I mean, leave it to The Rock to go to WWE, bring himself back, and then come out and potentially looking at doing an Oscar-worthy performance.
Yeah, doing more of an art film. I would say.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting to see what happens there.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's too bad it bombed, but at the same time, like nobody's rushing to the theater right now to see something like that. You know what I mean?
I'm saving my money for Wolverine and Deadpool.
Yeah, me too.
It's that simple. So
we're back where we started.
We are back where we started. Yeah. One movie I am going to try and probably see in the theaters. Also, we got a new trailer. It's coming out in September. Beetlejuice. And that's actually they only say it twice. It's because it's Beetlejuice. The Beetlejuice 2 got a new trailer. I'm super excited for this. I think it looks like they're doing such justice to the original film, continuing that story now 35 years later. Wait, no. 25 years later. No, I was right the first time. 35 years. I'm bad with the maths today, folks. Yeah, 35 years. Yeah, no. And it looks like they're taking elements from the cartoon. Like, we're going to get some real, like, in-depth stuff with the sandworms. And we're going to get, it looks like Lydia's going to spend some time in the afterlife. Like, it's like, I'm super pumped for this. Obviously, Catherine O'Hara is always amazing. Everything she does as the mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I know some folks were ragging on like Jenna Ortega because she's playing obviously the daughter now.
I don't know why.
I don't.
I mean, that's a perfect casting. What are you?
Yeah, she's.
What are you upset about?
It was like when I'm sorry, but
good, Ray.
Wednesday was like the perfect warm up for her to play in this movie and in this world. Like,
right.
I'm all.
I have no problem with her being in it. It looks great, as you said. The trailers look great. Michael Keaton looks great.
Yes.
All right. It looks great.
Showtime.
How would you not want to see this? And again, I am not going to listen to any of the reviews. This is one I will go see, and I will judge for myself because 100%. I have no faith in critics anymore.
Oh, gosh, no. We talk about it all the time. Critics are awful. They don't know what they're talking about. They put too much of their own personal biases. I mean, look, every opinion is going to have some of your biases, but you have to kind of understand sometimes when you're just being biased to be biased.
Biased and political. Like, I think sometimes people are like, well, they did this with this character. That's a political move. I'm like, no, it's not. They did that with X-Men 97. Like, Morph is a binary character. And I'm like, okay. It's like, he's also a fictional mutant character that.
Yeah, he's a shapeshifter. Yeah, he probably has some identity issues or whatever.
That guy, Jubilee shoots fireworks out of her hands. It's a statement, Ray.
The fireworks are not red, white, and blue. So dang it, she's a communist.
Un-American bullshit.
She's a communist.
She's a communist. And this Magneto guy, he gets it.
Yes.
He's Russian. He's Russian, Ray. He's a German Russian.
He's a German Russian. Oh gosh,
stupid. Anyway, I hate critics. That's my Beetlejuice gonna look really good.
Yes.
So looking forward to that. Again, we're on the precipice here of some real great potential with the geek world, and we'll see where it goes.
Yeah, no, I think it's gonna be a good summer and a good fall. I think we're gonna start to hopefully see some good stuff. We're expecting a lot of stuff in the video game front in the next couple of weeks. We're gonna get. We talked about. They just announced. This is another extra bonus story. Call of Duty Black Ops 6 will get fully revealed in 2 weeks. I know. I can't believe I was like, we're up to Black Ops 6 now.
Yeah.
But it looks like it's gonna be around Desert Storm. It's going to take place in Desert Storm.
Guess we've aged enough where that can happen.
That's what I thought.
When I was growing up, it was all World War II.
It's George Bush the Senior and Saddam Hussein. They showed that, and I was like, "Oh my God,
it happened."
We're old. We're old. We were kids when that happened.
We're middle aged.
That's pretty much old. So, So Black Ops 6. We're gonna get the full reveal of that in a couple of weeks from Activision and Microsoft.
Hey, Black Ops 6. It's something else.
It's something else. Activision, Microsoft, we know you got billions of dollars. Throw a few
I can't wait. I'm going to be walking. It's just
Game Pass.
I'm going to walk into my kids playing, and I'll be like, yeah, that's not how that happened.
Yeah, I know, yeah.
It's a couple years away from that. Yeah, that's not. What are you playing? Recession 09? I have to get a job. Well, good luck with that, son.
Oh.
What job did you get? I'm an NHL superstar.
Unbelievable. Oh, gosh.
Well, EA Sports presents Recession 09.
Yeah.
You're trapped in a wasteland where there's no jobs.
Yeah, that's the next Mad Max.
Well, the sequel to Recession 09 is Inflation 2024. Like, you have $10. Go buy food for your family.
Good luck. Eggs are $9.99.
Yeah.
Anyway, we're going down a deep dark path that none of us want.
I bought a bag of grapes for $12 the other day.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious. That's what grapes cost.
I'm glad I don't like grapes, but holy cow!
My wife has made a garden in our yard.
Smart.
I am starting to wonder.
Yeah,
if I'm going to be fighting the rabbits for this carrot next week.
Well, I mean, the thing is, I mean, that's why my grandparents always had a garden, and my mom always had a garden. Tomatoes, all our fruits and vegetables came from our own garden.
I am thankful that I was raised by an extremely frugal parents and generation. They came from that silent generation,
100%,
born right before World War II. And while I don't live as frugal as they do, I am thankful for the perspective of that, because there are decisions that I make or don't make. Like, maybe I should spend $15,000 on Ranger Eastern Conference final tickets. Like, no, I don't do that.
No.
I did know a guy the other day who spent that much on those WrestleMania tickets, and I'm like, what are you doing? It's an iconic event. What are you doing?
Yeah.
You could watch it on TV.
Yeah.
For $19.99 a year.
Yeah.
Schmuck.
No, it's definitely.
But I was there, man. Okay.
And especially, I lost as everybody knows, I lost my job in January. Yeah, like you got to learn how to tighten the belt, and you got to learn how to stretch a dollar, and like it's not a lot of folks. I'm happy. Like some of my friends are finally starting to find work, but a lot of us.
Philadelphia, we could do the show live on set. Come on over, Ray.
Give me a couple. Give me if things don't get better in the next few months, that might happen, folks.
You are always welcome to hide in Philadelphia. I will still. We'll make a set. Well, listen, it's not going to be hard to replicate that where you're at right now. We can make that in the corner of this office. We'll still tell everyone you're in Los Angeles that doesn't need to know that you're here. It's going to be great. Right across America.
That's right. Well, that's the thing. We got to think about this. We're going to have a live pitch meeting here in the show, folks. If I have to move back east, we need to make content out of it.
But yeah, Geeks Across America.
That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to fly to Los Angeles because we don't have the budget to go both ways. All right, but producer Stavi is like going yes right now. By the way, all right, listen to me. I'm going to fly to LA.
Yes,
we will Toro a DeLorean, which will get us from your house to the highway before it breaks down. Right. Then we will rent a real car.
Yes.
All right. And we will drive. And this documentary is going to be great because, like, from LA to Vegas, it's going to be really good.
Yes.
And then from Vegas, for the next 3 days, will be nothing.
Right. Until we get to, like, maybe Texas.
Right? And then we'll get to Pittsburgh.
Oh, God.
All right. Where we'll just rip those people apart.
Yes.
Right. Then we'll get arrested. This is where the documentary gets really good. All right. And then
Zavi's still shaking his head. Yes. Thrilled about this.
Xavier and Caitlin, Zavi and Caitlin will have to break us out of jail in Pittsburgh.
Yes.
And then the rest of the film is us. No, listen. This is how we do it. I'd come to LA. We'd get you. We go LA to Vegas. Spend a couple days there. Because why the hell not?
Right.
And I think you're right. I think because I've been in the northern quarter. I think you go southeast to Texas, right? Because I've never been I've been to Texas, but I've never experienced Texas.
Right.
So we go through Texas till you can't take any more of the politics. Then we go further south. We get through Louisiana. Right. So I can visit my friends in Destin. We hang out there for a little bit.
Okay.
Right. Head over to Jacksonville. All right. Okay. Hopefully not during hurricane or tornado season.
Yeah.
And straight up 95 for 12 hours. Stop in DC. And then to Philadelphia.
I was going to say, okay, if we really have to go to Destin, then we'll go through Louisiana, stop in New Orleans. But then I think we go, instead we try to see if we can Nolans. Go up to I would want to hit it either like a Memphis or a Nashville. And then,
Nashville. Well, we can do Nashville's off.
Nashville, and then kind of like swerve towards DC and then get back up to Philly.
For the low price of $25,000, you can fund this trip. $5,000 for the trip, $20,000 for gas and other costs.
Yeah. Yeah, I will make sure that we fill up here in LA before we get going because we don't want to really. Well, actually, gas will probably be all right in Texas and stuff, but my Civic gets good gas mileage. Actually,
we're not doing this trip in a Civic. You're selling the Civic.
But I'm
gonna rent us something nice. No, no thanks. I'm not going across America in a Honda Civic. All right, I'm taller than you. You're forgetting that.
Let me push the seat back. I'm
not
Civic.
Going across.
I just paid it off. I just finished paying it off.
Good. You'll get more money when you sell it for the Mercedes supercar that we're not going to have.
No.
First off, I always imagined you and me on that little moped from Dumb and Dumber.
Well,
we made it, Ray.
That's what I'm going to sell my Civic, and then I'll be like,
yeah, man, get 100 miles to the gallon on this thing.
Just when I thought you couldn't mess up anymore, you completely redeem yourself.
You guys are your luck because they're that way. No, Geeks Across America. We've been wanting to do that for a while.
Yes.
The problem is there might be some flights in there. I don't think I'd have a 4-day. Screw it. We'd have a great time. It'd be fun. It's that 16-hour of nothing that.
No, getting from Vegas to Texas, that stretch. No offense to Arizona and New Mexico, but that stretch would be the hard part.
Right?
Yeah.
And we're from the New York metropolitan area, Philadelphia. Your big cities are not big. I don't know how to tell you that. Vegas looks very small to me when I'm there.
No, it's true. Anything off the strip is
yeah, it's a lot of stuff, but
sure.
all you got to do is look at the skyline where we're from, and it's like,
yeah. No, yeah.
Anyway,
like
Geeks Across America.
It's a
sponsors.
thought.
Rubik's, help us out.
Yes, exactly.
Help us solve the puzzle of getting Ray.
Back East. Splenda.
Yeah.
Something else.
It's something else. We need the sugar, but not sugar. It's something
else. Yeah.
All right. Listen, the mashup this week, we were talking about Angel Hernandez and umpires. Brought up the question, really timely. What geek property would make the worst and best sports officials? Right. Yeah. So Ray and I are going to have some fun with that one. You can catch that episode on Saturday, or if it's after Saturday, whenever the hell you want.
Yep. As always, we appreciate everybody watching. We appreciate you tuning in. Again, like, share, comment below. If you want to sponsor Geeks Across America, let us know. Geeks
Do something crazy, huh? Billionaires, help us out. We're good. We're professional broadcasters here. We're good at what we do.
We are. It's very entertaining. It would be very entertaining, me and Lee on the road for
Lee and days. I. Come on, man. See, that was a preview.
If we don't kill each other, you have to give us double.
You can make it 3 or 4 minutes before we'll stop arguing. I mean,
as soon as you get in the car, whatever car it is, we'll be talking Yankees, Phillies, and we'll talk baseball.
Yeah, no, we'll just record the ride, and you got Geeks episodes for a month.
It's true. It's true. You are also correct. That is also correct.
That is also true. All right, end this episode. We got to go.
Yes. For Lee, I am Ray. This has been another edition of Geeks Who Like Sports. Thanks for watching, everybody.